Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to my shop. Well, all right, and welcome everyone. We're going to get back on this 75 Corvette Stingray and get back into a project I started with it about a little over, maybe about a month ago. I got into a little October gig to build me up some play funds and maybe experience something new in October. And I can say I have officially retired for the second time. I am no longer in the corn maze business. So anyway, stay tuned and let's get back on the 75 Corvette. I've already pulled the timing chain off. I know that's the problem, but I'm going to do some more before we start putting stuff together. Stay tuned and let's get busy. All right, to get y'all caught up, I was out on a cruise and heard a noise in the front of the engine. Isolated it to behind the timing chain cover. And as you can see here, I've got the front of the engine tore down to get to it. And right here is the culprit. You can see the chain was very loose. The teflons wore off the gears and the gears are starting to wear real bad. And the chain was slapping against the timing chain cover. So that's what caused all this problem. And to get to that, about had to take the front end of this car down to parade rest. Well, before I start putting it back together, I've decided I'm going to drop that oil pan because there's too many plastic pieces or Teflon pieces missing off of that timing gear, and no doubt they've made their way down there into the oil pan. So we're going to get ready to climb underneath this dude, and let's drop the oil pan. All right. We're on the underbelly of the beast, and I don't have a whole lot of room here laying on my back, but that's the innards, that's the guts of this L48. And the first thing that jumps out at you is that it is, in fact, a 2-bolt main. So that's not unexpected. I figured that was the case. Let's come this way and look down. All in all, it looks pretty good. Now I'm going to see if I can't shine a light up here, and because you can still see crosshatch in the cylinder. I don't know if you can make that out or not right there, but it's still crosshatch in that cylinder. And there's one up front here. I don't know if you can make that out. But anyway, I was surprised at the lack of garbage in the oil pan. But let's flip this here camera over, shine a little light. I don't know if you can see, but there's bits and pieces of the Teflon gear. That's where it's at. It got sucked up into the that oil screen. So I'm actually going to drop that and attempt to do a new main rear seal because it was leaking. So anyway, and I'll kind of show you what I had to do to get that pan off. Now normally you'd want to take these 2 bolts off up here and drop this whole arm, this drag link arm, I guess, but I couldn't get to them. Let me see if I can shine a light up in there. That's the bad thing about the Vette. There just is no room. You can see I couldn't, with those headers, I just couldn't get to it. So I decided to break it loose right there. Let's see if my light will stay still. Here we go. So I broke it loose right here. And it dropped it enough to where I could get the pan out. So anyway, you notice I didn't have to drop the starter, nor even the oil filter, but I will change the oil filter. So anyway, I don't know how this is going to show. Upside down, I guess. Anyway, I'll show you the pan. As you can see, there's some crud up here at the front where the timing cover covered. But down here in the sump, there's really not a whole lot of garbage in there. The pan is in surprisingly pretty good condition for considering the age and year of this. I don't know if this pan's ever been dropped. Hard to say. But anyway, there she is in her dented glory. But it doesn't leak, and the dents doesn't affect the performance of it. So it's going back on. All right, I'm trying to break in a new camera too, and I think my audio is really, this has a whole lot better mic than my old one. But anyway, there's the dented up oil pan. It's still serviceable, so I'm going to use it for now. Water pump, nothing wrong with it, going to reuse it. Harmonic balance, and the timing cover, all nice and painted. I did discover that the snout on the crank is a little worn, so I'm going to get a speedy sleeve, get that ordered up. So I won't be installing these today. I've got to put the timing gear on first anyway. Then I can concentrate on putting that bottom end together. There we go. So anyway, that's that. And here's some of the goodies that's come in. All right, we're going to go with that thick one-piece oil pan gasket. And comes with longer bolts and even bolts and some lock washers. Cloyes, dual chain, diamond chain. So there's my new, I am not going with Teflon coated. You should have seen what I cleaned out of that old pickup tube. And a little bit of bling here. So get rid of that old ugly thermostat housing. All right, finally got that pan dropped. Now I was studying on how to put that timing cover back on without dropping the pan. But with all that debris gone, with all that Teflon wore off that gear, I just knew it was down there in the bottom of the pan. And since I've got it up like this, I needed to answer that question. I was pretty sure it was a 2-bolt, but I wanted to make sure. You know, there's always that possibility that it's a sneaky little 4-bolt main, but it's not. So it's just your standard L48. I thought for a while there that my rear main seal was leaking, and it ends up that it wasn't the rear main seal, it's the rear pan seal that was leaking. The rubber type seal that goes on the rear of the pan, and you know, like similar to the one in the front, well, it's hard and brittle, and it was soaking wet on it, around it, and the pan was there on it. Up higher above it was dry. That's where the rear main would have been leaking had that been the case. So I'm going to gamble. I'm not going to do the main, and we'll just go from there. There's a lot of things I would like to do to this while I got it to this point, but you know, the point comes where you got to know when to say when, and I'm putting the brakes on it now. I'm going to, I've decided I am not going to do the cam upgrade, especially since it's a 2-bolt. Had it been a 4-bolt main, well, I could have seen heads and cam upgrade to it. But with the upgrades it's got going now, I think that's good enough. It's really a good cruiser. And if I decided I want to do some horsepower to it, well, I think I would be better served to get a crate engine to replace maybe a 383 or something like that. So this engine here is just not conducive to horsepower per se. I mean, you can get maybe 300 horses out of the thing, but at that expense, I would rather put the money towards a crate engine designed to go. So anyway, enough of that. Showed you the radiator, got it fixed, and I got it fixed in a couple of days. They dipped it, steamed it out, found the leaks, and that was the only leak that I put in it. And they fixed the connection for the overflow, and so it's ready to go. They actually cleaned it, painted it too. Got the parts over there drying from paint. Got my stuff here ready to go. So I guess in the next episode we'll be starting to put this thing back together. I've got I guess you can't see it, but I've got it taped, and I'm doing kind of a orange wash to the front end of it where you can see it, and just to clean it up some. The paint is just it flaked off and it looked pretty bad. So while I had it to this point, I'm just giving it an orange wash. So anyway, cleaned up the rest of it, and we'll be getting this thing ready to go back together again. So anyway, hope everything's going good with you and yours. Everything's going good here. Can't complain. If I was to complain, it was that I spent my whole entire October working and not enjoying one of my favorite times of the year. But that's all right, because the fruits of my labor is going to go into that, which some parts are due soon, and that being this truck back here and getting this back on the road. So have a good one, and I hope to see you around on the next one. See ya.